Today we are reflecting on events leading to the Civil War.
More specifically, the Dred Scott v. Stanford case in 1857, and how it impacted the United States.
Dred Scott was a slave to the Stanford, living in Missouri. Stanford chose to move them both back to the free state of Illinois.
Illinois for 11 years, Scott believed he should be free, considering he lived in a free territory for 11 years. This aroused an issue when his new master tried moving him back to Missouri to be a slave.
Once the issue was taken to court, they ruled against him and he appealed to the Supreme Court. In the end, the Supreme Court ruled that African Americans were not and could never be citizens. Thus, Dred Scott had no right even to file a lawsuit and remain enslaved. Quoted from the McDougal Hotel, The Americans.
And now for a clip from the Dred Scott versus Stanford trial.
Chief Justice Roger Taney. Bring in the prosecutor and defendant. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Mrs. Emerson. My slave was bought by my husband. Once he died, Scott became mine. My slave believes he is a freeman. He doesn't have the right as an African American to fight back against me as me being his owner.
I'm Dred Scott. I lived in a free state for 11 years. Mrs. Emerson doesn't have the right to take away my freedom, being a free man for the past 11 years. I should have the right to decide which state I choose to live in.
This case went on for 10 years, and in the end, Taney decided that Dred Scott is not a citizen and has no right to sue the court. Taney states, "We think they being slaves are not included and were not intended to be included under the word citizens in the Constitution." They showed that the U.S. Constitution, state constitutions, and other laws had recognized African Americans as citizens.
It took 4 years of bitter civil war to find out if Taney's opinion would stand as the law of the land. It would not. Immediately after the Civil War, the federal government moved to abolish slavery with the 13th Amendment of 1865, and then to extend state and national citizenship with the 14th Amendment of 1862 to all persons born or naturalized in the United States.
The wording of these amendments was expressly intended to nullify Dred Scott. These amendments meant that Dred Scott would no longer be used as a precedent, an earlier ruling that can be used to justify a current one.
Instead, it is now pointed to as an important lesson on the limits of the Supreme Court's power, as the key steps on the road to the Civil War, and as one of the worst decisions ever made by the Supreme Court.
Thank you for watching. From all of us here at EVA News 6, I'm Ben.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Emma. Stay tuned for Scandal after this.